Hello, everyone. We're kicking off our Spotlight series with self advocate Desmond Thomas. He is an independent living specialist for living independence for everyone in Mississippi. And today he'll be sharing his remarkable story about overcoming many challenges and how he now uses his experiences to help others with significant disabilities. Thank you so much for joining me today, Desmond.
I don't know if a lot of you guys know, but 2002, I was I was injured due to a gunshot wound. I was shot. I can't see the wound. Thank God I was healed well. But just a quick rundown. Me and a couple of my friends, 2002, I was 19 years old. We was traveling on Northside Drive, just hanging out, finna go to a Sigma party at Tougaloo College, and some guys tried to rob us, and I was shot in the face. And my one of my friends was driving. He rushed me to the hospital. I was paralyzed due to that gunshot wound. The bullet actually hit me in the face and ricocheted off of my spinal cord and hit a group of nerves up under my left arm. So due to that, I can't use my left hand the same as I can use my right hand. It paralyzed me and left me a quadriplegic. I use a power wheelchair for mobility. I know you guys can't see the chair because of the way my computer is sitting, but I have a great power wheelchair. You can see the joystick here. Um, I make the chair look really awesome because I'm an awesome guy. But but I use a power wheelchair for mobility, and I've been using this chair for 18 years now. I was shot, and on the way to the hospital, I can remember going unconscious, getting sleepy, telling my friend, I just thought if I fall asleep, I'm not gonna wake up. So I was telling my friend Ralph, like, man, tell my mom and them I'm sorry. I just don't think I'm gonna make it. And they was telling me, Desmeon, shut up, stop talking, because I just was talking negative at the time. And everything happened so fast. And I woke back up in the hospital. All I saw was the lights. I saw my mom was the first face that I saw. And her eyes was bloodshot red. And one thing about my mom is she did not do wrong. She cried. I remember she was about to run a stop sign and she cried because the police gave her a ticket. He said, you pause. She was just a good parent. She was an innocent person. And I just felt so bad for my mom because she was just devastated because her son just got shot. And I remember the next thing when I just fell unconscious, waking up and ICU. And the only thing I can think, because the doctor standing over me, was to ask him, am I gonna be okay? And I'm looking up at this doctor and I see the light, I see the clock, and that's all I can remember. And I asked him, Doc, am I gonna be okay? And the doctor looked at me and he said, son, I got some bad news. You paralyzed and your injury is incomplete. And I just cried. I just felt a tear roll down the side of my face because I'm on my back. And he was like, son, you got to be strong for your family. And I just took that in at one time because I knew then that I needed to be strong for my mom. I knew she probably felt like it was her fault. I can imagine people saying why he was out that late. You know, I was only 19 years old. And it wasn't her fault because my mom knew that I wasn't a terrible person. I knew how to make good decisions. It was just that it was wrong place, wrong time type of situation. I took that, what the doctor said, and I was like, I'm gonna be positive. I'm not gonna be the type of person that's just gonna be negative and be all down and bad. I didn't want my mom to feel worse. So they sent me to the regular hospital room. That's when my family got together. And I took upon myself to be positive. I wanted everybody to be cheerful, so I cracked jokes. And the positive thing out of this situation is it brought a lot of my family members together. A lot of people came to visit me. And like a couple of weeks later, I was in ICU for 2 weeks, regular hospital room for 2 weeks. And after then, um, they took me to therapy, which is inpatient therapy at the Methodist Rehab. I love that place because that place gave me a lot of insight on what was to come for me. I was depressed because no one wants to be paralyzed. You don't know what's coming next. I couldn't move my left arm at all after my injury. I had to use my right arm and just pick my left arm up, sit it in my lap. It wasn't doing anything. At Methodist Rehab, the therapist there taught me everything. I couldn't use my bowels, my bladders, or nothing. They taught me everything all over again, how to calf myself, everything. And they did not let me give up. That place was amazing. The therapist there did not let me sleep in because a couple of days I was like, I ain't going to therapy. I'm just gonna lay here. I don't care. I was just depressed and didn't care. They did not let me give up. One of the therapists even came to my room, Miss Bridget, and said, "You're gonna work out in bed if you ain't getting up. You just gonna have to do it in here." And it just made me say, you know what, I'm gonna go and get up. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want you coming up in here working out with me. And so I just got on up and went on head to therapy and worked out. So they really gave me the ground rules on this is what you're gonna have to expect if you're gonna, be paralyzed. You just have to learn your body all over again. But coming through that situation, I learned that I was gonna have to learn my body again. I was gonna have to start working out and strengthen myself again. So after inpatient therapy and learning that I'm gonna have to work out, I'm gonna have to learn how to transfer. I'm gonna have to learn how to use this power wheelchair because I don't have strength on my left side to push a manual wheelchair. I ended up going to outpatient therapy and going home. And that's when I learned that my home is not accessible. So I'm not going to be able to stay in the home that we were living in, which was the Oaks apartment off of Ridgewood Road. I needed to borrow a ramp. That's what really how I learned about life in Mississippi. I had to borrow a ramp to get into my home. So the director of Life in Mississippi was Christy Dunaway. And Daryl Dunaway owned it handicapable. He was part owner of handicapable vans. They drove me from the hospital because I was in a power wheelchair and I didn't know where to get from Methodist Rehab to my apartment. And he let me borrow this portable ramp to get into my apartment. That ramp was the only reason I was able to get into my home. And I couldn't get down the hallways and none of that stuff into that apartment. So we stayed there for maybe 2 weeks and we moved. Daryl, they blew my mind because Christy Dunaway, she had prosthetics for arms. And I never seen that in my life, ever. So I was just riding home with them and just looking at them and just was like, okay, this guy's in a power wheelchair driving me home. Am I safe? First thing come to my mind. She has prosthetics. I never seen this in my life, but they was living a normal life. So that woke me up and was like, I need to learn what I need to do because I want to drive like he's driving for one. And I need this ramp to get into my house. So I know I need to learn how to make sure my house is accessible because I wasn't ready to give up yet. Um, so everything was just soaking in, and I just wanted to learn more. So they invited me to some group meetings to learn how to be more independent. And I went to those meetings, and I met more people that was in wheelchairs and they used wheelchairs. And I was like, man, I met this guy named LaRon Jackson. This guy really was one of the best mentors I could have ever met in my life. This guy actually was born with cerebral palsy. He was attending Jackson State in law school, and everything he did was positive. He cracked jokes. Everyone was laughing. I looked at him as the life of the party, and I just wanted to be around him every second of the day. Like I just wanted to be around LeBron Jackson. And he just told me, like, man, if you ever want to talk to somebody, come to me. And I just was like, cool, man. And I wanted to talk to LeBron about everything because everything he told me was good advice. And this guy really motivated me a whole lot. And I just felt so much positive energy from being at that support group meeting. I met so many people that were so insightful. And that was my first time ever hearing Christy Dunaway do a motivational presentation. And she just motivated me so much, told me how she became independent, how she became the director of the Center for Independent Living, which is Life of Mississippi. And I was like, this woman is a triple amputee. She's born as a triple amputee when the resources were not available for anyone ever. And she became that director of her SEAL in Mississippi. And I was just blown away. man, I met so many other people that was doing amazing things at that conference, and it just really motivated me. And I was just injured maybe a month ago when I went to that conference, and I just met so many amazing people, and that's really what motivated me by just being in the loop that fast. So even though I was broke down and I felt like, man, I was still depressed, didn't want to be around people. Those people really just just sparked me and just made me want to do so much more. So I just wanted to be around LeBron, wanted to be around others, and I started going to life events all the time. I started going to the art to events that they had with the My Voice, My Choice organization. And they just taught me everything I needed to know about using my voice to get things I needed, trying to be independent. Because the whole time I was independent, but I was never independent as a wheelchair user and being paralyzed. So it was a whole different type of independence. And I was like, and then I was so depressed because I felt like when people looked at me, they weren't looking at me, they was looking at my wheelchair. And I didn't think highly of myself at the time because I felt broke down. I didn't feel like the whole me anymore. So I just kept going to groups, kept making friends. And I when my new friends looked at me, I didn't feel like they looked at me as a different person. I felt like they looked at me as the new me. So I just love making the new friends and people that can teach me new things that I didn't know already. So I just continue to go to peer support group meetings. And I finally, one of my old friends, Raphael, he was driving when I got shot. He was still coming around and visiting me, but he ended up going to the military, going to basic training. So he left. So I didn't have anybody around me that I was hanging out with that I knew already. So I started getting depressed. My mom ended up going back to work. So I was at home all day alone and didn't have anyone really to hang out with or socialize with. So I started feeling like I needed something new to do, someone new, something, and I didn't know what. Now, my mom was the type of mom that wasn't about to baby me, even though I was paralyzed. Now, she loved me, took care of me, helped me with what I needed, but she didn't baby me. And she knew people that worked their life now. So they taught independence. So her thing was, you got to figure it out. And I ended up figuring it out. I learned about this program called AmeriCorps, Project Link, and I signed up for this program, filled out the application. I was scared at first because I was like, how am I going to volunteer? And I'm in a wheelchair. Like, that don't even make sense. What they going to have me doing? What am I going to do? Because I didn't think I can do anything productive at that time. But I went head on and filled out the information, did as much as I could. And that's when I got the call back to come up for an interview. I was like, if I go up there for an interview, I got to dress as nice as I can. They got to know that I can dress good. So I went shopping, bought a nice outfit. I knew I was gonna get the job. I just felt it. It just felt so good at the interview because I was practicing on what I was good at, what my qualities were. I was just already practicing on what I was gonna tell them when I went. So when they asked me the questions, I was ready. It was like I was already on top of it. But I was eager to do something other than staying at home, sitting under my carport, under the garage, because that's all I was doing, just sitting in the sun all day, waiting on my mama to get off work, or waiting on somebody to pull up and hang with me because I didn't have nothing to do. I stopped hanging out. One thing about being when you get shot and you hanging with people that's not doing all of the right things all the time, after after something like that happened to you, you realize who your true friends are. Like, people are gonna stop hanging around you. I go out and speak to youth groups now. I'm older, and I make sure that they know when you're not doing the right thing, when something bad happens, people are not gonna come hang around you because you trying to change. When you're trying to start doing positive stuff, those negative habits, them negative people not gonna be around you because they want to be around people that ain't doing right. So I realized then, okay, now that I'm trying to do better, they're not going to be around me because they want to be around that negative influence. I'm the type of person now that I don't want no negative energy around me. If you're not trying to do the right thing, I want you far away from me as possible because I'm not trying to get shot again. I'm not trying to go to jail. I just want to do right by myself, by my community, by everybody because I want positive things to come, and I want it to last. I don't want no one around me that's not going to be doing well because good is going to follow all of my actions. And it's not going to last if I'm mixing the good and bad together. It's not going to last for me. So that's why I tell all my friends, like, bro, if you're not going to change, I can't rock with you because it's going to become toxic, you know, and all of my friends and everybody that I'm rocking with. So I make sure now that everything that I'm doing is going to be a good mixture. And I ain't got no problem with my friends that's not ready to change yet. I just don't want to mix what I'm doing with it. So I just don't associate with people that's not on the right track. And I don't have no problem with anybody with what anyone do. I don't judge people. I'm just the type of person that I know what I want for myself and I'm not gonna jeopardize it. Now, the agencies that helped me out in my life, I'm so thankful because I came to life and life showed me the way. I didn't realize my mom was helping me out at first. Mississippi Department of Rehab Services, one of the first referrals that was made for me. And they provided attendant care services. I needed help in the mornings because my mom was like, I'm gonna have to go to work, so I'm gonna have to help you up before I go. And I was sitting at home by myself at first, like, because she had to go back to work, and the bills weren't gonna pay themselves. But they sent attendant care attendants out to assist me with getting dressed, helping me with my shower and all of that. And they did the same thing for the evening times. They were God sent for me because wasn't no way I was gonna be independent without them. I was gonna be forced to go to somebody's assisted living home or a nursing home if it wasn't for that service, because I wasn't gonna want nobody to have to do that for me, not my mama or my sister forever. So with that service, it really allowed me to be independent because I knew I was gonna have somebody to come help me out. That was God sent. They helped modify my home with a roll-in shower. They put a wheelchair ramp up on the home for us. They helped out so much, man. When I finally was trying to be a big dog, a big boy, I was like, Mama, I ain't staying here no more. They actually helped me um, move into not them, but I ended up getting a voucher from HUD. They helped me move into my own apartment, so I ended up getting my own apartment. I called myself having a little girlfriend. I was like, I'm gonna move into my own little spot. So I'm gonna holler at you, adios. So I moved into my own little apartment, and I thought that was great, man. And I was trying to be a man. I want to move out, get my own little place, and I did that, and that was great. And I always said that any resources that I'm gonna refer anyone else to, I'm gonna utilize myself and see how great that is. And it was good. They offered me a live-in aid, everything that I thought that I wanted, I did. I tried it out. Vocational rehab. I was working. I said, I'm gonna see if they're gonna modify me a vehicle, and they helped me with my modifications on my car. And I've been driving ever since. I have not missed a beat with driving my own vehicle. And I said, as long as they're gonna help me, I'm gonna continue to drive. And they helped me drive so that I can get to work, helped me drive so that I can get to school. I ended up graduating from Hines CC. I'm a senior at Jackson State right now, trying to get that bachelor's degree. I am not going to stop until I get that bachelor's degree. I have not stopped. I'm a business major, trying to get my administration and entrepreneur degree, business administration / entrepreneur. I'm going to have it soon. My business is going to be booming, and we're going to make a lot of money. But I thank you guys for all of what you helped me out with. I really do appreciate the services. The Arca, Mississippi, y'all know that y'all helped me, Matt. If I didn't see you with those nice collar shirts on, Mr. Knocker, I wouldn't have never got no collar shirts because you'll be rocking them collar shirts. And I thank you for all the advice you give me, all the information, because the Arca, Mississippi was one of the first advisory boards that I got on when I said that I wanted to be a part of the My Voice, My Choice movement. What you guys do for individuals with developmental cognitive disabilities is really great and awesome, and I'm glad that I've been a part of that. I think the services are great, and anytime you need me, I'm there. You always giving me advice. You always making referrals for me. And I'm just glad to be a part of the movement that you guys have over there. Marianne, you know I love you, always have, because you were one of the ones that said, why don't you come over here to My Voice, My Choice and do as much as you can. And y'all was thinking that I was helping y'all. you guys, you guys really helped me out because I didn't realize how powerful my voice was going to be when I started signing up to be on advisory boards back then. And they really are powerful, and you really helped me become a better leader. I thank you guys, all of you guys, especially Life of Mississippi, because that's where I started off with being a part of AmeriCorps and Project Link. That was my first ever opportunity. I can't say it was a job because I was volunteering, but that you gave me a living allowance, you gave me a education award. That's the reason I went to Hines Community College, got back on my education, and I ain't stopped since. Helped me learn how to start my own business. So now I'm going out doing presentations to different schools, and I love it, talking to different youth groups. And I just think that if it wasn't for all of you guys together, I would have never learned as much as I learned. Because when I started off, the only thing I knew was I'm paralyzed and I don't know nothing else. Now I know how powerful it is just to have the resources and have the knowledge that you need to be successful. Vocational rehab really taught me because I was like, I ain't finna do no ability works. I'm not about to be a part of that. And then I just gave everything that you guys offered me a chance, and it just helped me out in the long run. I can remember I was 19, I was skinny, I was little, and I had gold teeth, and everybody was like, "Y'all, you do not need them golds in your mouth, Mr. Gus." I remember when you taught me how to take them golds out of my mouth, and you gave me a book, and I read it, and I was like, "I'm gonna be a better me." Christy Donaway, I remember when you said, Desmeon, why don't you be on this advisory board? And I ended up being on the National Youth Leadership Network Advisory Council. Then I applied for the National Council on Disabilities. I ended up going to DC, and they taught me so much on how the youth can be leaders. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna be a leader from now on, and I'm gonna do as much as I can to provide for my community. Now I'm a part of the Strong Arms of Jackson for the city of Jackson. And the main goal is to teach people how violence is destructive. And we don't want violence in our community. I was a survivor of gun violence. A lot of people said I was a victim, but I feel like I survived it. And I'm trying to teach youth in the community how bad violence is and how that we need to put the guns down. And I really do feel as if guns are destroying our youth. We got so much music telling people that they need automatic weapons. And what I suggest is we put all of the guns up. We should stop the violence, come together, have more peace rallies, and learn from me. Everybody don't bounce back from being shot and paralyzed. A lot of people die. A lot of people have secondary complications. And if it was up to me, we would all put all of the weapons away and try to figure out ways to come together and be more peaceful, because it is not a good solution to go to resort to violence. I love everything that happened since my injury because I met some unique people. Everyone that I came across showed me major love, and I love being a part of my disability community, and love the fact that we can teach each other how to become more successful, teach each other the resources that's available so that we can all be better. Um, Thank you for this opportunity to spotlight all of the people that have assisted me in becoming more independent, becoming a better person. But to all of the support agencies, thank you guys. And my new business, Making Wise Choices Equal Positive Outcomes, is what I'm going to be promoting all year. And I just want you guys to look out for it. Website coming soon. Thank you for the opportunity to spotlight myself. And thank you guys.
Yes, thank you,
Have a
Desmond,
good
for
day.
coming on today and being such a positive influence and helping others and just sharing your remarkable story with everyone. And I know you're going to have a bright future. And please come back on and share what's happening with you in the future. So thank you again. And I hope you have a wonderful day.
I will do. And thanks again. And go to Life of Mississippi, www.lifeofms.com. Y'all have a good day.